What's up guys, today we're going to be going over my all-time favorite Destiny primary weapon, the Smite of Merain, which is the King's Fall pulse rifle, which is now back in Destiny 2. And I would consider this one of the golden trio of primary weapons from Destiny 1. The Fatebringer slash Mago's Loop, the Hung Jury, and this were the core three primaries most people use, and this was by far my favorite of the three and the one I use the most. So I'm super stoked to have it back in Destiny 2, and there's all kinds of really good rolls on this weapon, and that is what this video will be about, going over all those different perks and the rules you want to get. Before we get into the video, you can purchase Lightfall from my Nexus store if you play it on Steam. Exact same price as buying it on Steam, but a little bit of the proceeds will go to me instead of the corporation Steam itself. So just like all the different King's Fall weapons, once you have 5 of the red boxes, you'll be able to craft it, and I'm getting kind of close, so maybe in a week or two I'll be able to do that. But right now, we look at the perks on the weapon. Starting with the left, there's going to be roughly 5 I want to talk about: Ensemble, Stats for All, Focus Fury, Demo, and also Pugilist, which is one of the new perks. So starting off, there's only going to be 2 what I would consider traditional reload perks. There's going to be Stats for All, then also Ensemble. I think Stats for All will be the better one overall. Hitting 3 separate targets will increase the handling, stability, and reload and range for a moderate duration. So not only reload, but also all kinds of good stats, and that'll work all the time, unlike Ensemble where you'll need multiple allies nearby to improve only the handling and reload speed. So Stats for All will definitely be the go-to regular reload perk. But this weapon also has Demo on it, which you guys know is my favorite perk in the game. It's to help you get your grenade back a lot faster, and whenever you throw your grenade, you will reload the magazine from reserves. So overall, a good reload perk and a really good utility-based perk. But now there is the same thing for Melee's Pugilist, which will now give you melee energy on kill, but instead of reloading the magazine when you get a melee hit, kind of like Demo when you throw a grenade, now all it will do is increase the handling, and Grave Robber itself will still be the functionality of reloading the weapon on melee hit. When I recommended them making this perk a long time ago, I thought they would just add this functionality into Grave Robber and make it just one perk still, but instead it's still split into 2 different perks, so one for the reload aspect and one for the actual energy aspect, which doesn't really make sense. Demo has both in one, so why is there 2 for melee? Doesn't quite add up. But anyways, it's better than nothing. We have a perk to get melee energy now. And the final perk on the left I want to talk about will be Focus Fury, which will be a 20% damage increase after you land at least half of the magazine as precision hits. And once you have that, it'll be procced for 10 or 11 seconds, which is pretty long, but it's definitely by far not the best damage perk, but it is a damage perk in the left of the weapon, which is interesting in its own. So moving on to the right column perks to see what we can combo with. Once again, there's gonna be quite a few to talk about, a lot of damage perks plus Firefly. So just jumping into which damage perk you want. Since this season is Unstoppable Pulse Rifle, I can see Whirlpool being kind of decent if you're gonna be using this for solo lost sectors or GMs, Master Nightfalls, whatever it is. But overall, I would just rather use a different damage perk on the weapon. For example, One for All will be the highest percent at 35, but I would argue that both Adrenaline Junkie and Swashbuckler would be better overall, just slightly less damage than One for All, but a lot easier to proc. So for grenade builds on Warlock, you know, something like Adrenaline Junkie would be extremely good. Just get a grenade kill and get the full ×5 stack. Same thing for Swashbuckler for, you know, a melee build on Hunter or even Titan. Just getting a melee kill will give you a full ×5 buff. So both of those damage perks will be extremely good for this weapon and combo really well with left column perks. But this weapon also has Firefly in the right, which is obviously extremely good AoE ad clear. So now the question is, would you rather have the AoE ad clear Firefly or more damage on the weapon with a damage perk? And I think for most situations, you would rather have Firefly. The way you kind of want to think about it is, if you get a precision kill with Firefly, it will do basically the exact same damage as a full burst of headshots to everything nearby. So you're taking that one burst of this pulse and you're basically multiplying that damage to an entire area. So just one burst of the weapon could turn it into multiple bursts worth of damage to the entire area. So, I mean, what sounds better? One burst equaling 6 bursts of damage, or, you know, a 33% increase from one of the damage perks. When you think about it like that, it's kind of not even close. And for most situations, Firefly will be just straight up way better. And the final perk on the right I want to talk about is the new one, the Gutshot Straight, which is when you're aiming down sights to increase the body shot damage. So normally we hit 1545, then if we ADS it goes to 1700, which will be exactly a 10% increase. And you know what does more than 10% to the body and also head of this weapon? Every damage perk on it. So yeah, just never use this perk in PvE. It's just not even worth your time. And the final thing to talk about this weapon before we get into the different god rolls will be the origin trait for all the raid weapons, the runneth over, where reloading your allies overflows the magazine. So in a 3-man activity you can get ×2, which will give you 9 more bullets. Then with a full fire team of 6 you'll get ×5, which will increase the magazine to 63, which will be exactly a 50% increase to the max size. So overall this origin trait is extremely good. It just gives all the raid weapons overflow, and the more allies nearby, obviously the higher the mag will go. So overall this weapon has a lot of really good and unique god rolls on it. So just listing off a few I definitely want. First we have Pugilist plus Swashbuckler. That would be really good for melee builds, something I'm looking to try to get for Arc Hunter. Then for grenade builds, we have Demo plus Adrenaline Junkie will be extremely strong on the Warlock Arc 3.0, or basically every Warlock subclass, because they're all generally about grenades. And that perk combo would just perfectly pair with any of those builds. And for some more generic, just good all-around rolls, we have Demo plus Firefly, Demo plus One for All for damage, or really Demo plus any damage perk of your choice would work also. But I'm also really curious about like Focus Fury plus One for All, or Focus Fury plus Firefly as really good all-around combos too. And I don't think you could go wrong with Stats for All plus whatever right perk you want. I think Stats for All is definitely a very strong perk. But overall, there's all kinds of really good perk combinations, and they're all on what I would say is the best pulse of all time. It definitely feels the best, and that might just be nostalgia, I'm not sure. But I just absolutely love this scene, and it will definitely be my go-to pulse for the future, and still is my favorite primary weapon in the history of Destiny. Anyways, that's gonna be it for the commentary. Let me know what role you want down below. The rest of the video will just be a little bit of strike gameplay with the Smite. Like usual, thanks for watching. Catch you guys next time.
Hive signatures in a facility up ahead. I don't like this. It feels like a trap.